All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Emily Chung, and I'm one of the conference co-chairs of JALT 2024. And it is my greatest honor to introduce our joint plenary session speakers. We have Dr. Andy Curtis and Dr. Liying Cheng. So hello to the both of you. Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Hello, it's good to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time today as we are doing this joint plenary speakers interview, because we would like to give our audience a preview of what they are going to see at JALT 2024 in Shizuoka. So to begin, maybe with Andy first, could you tell us a little bit about what is currently going on in your professional life, or if there's any research projects that you're up to? I'm sure there are many.
So this is the new book, Decoding Donald Trump, Bad Language. It came out a few days ago, and it's the first time that I've written for a non-academic audience. So it takes 5 of Donald Trump's key speeches over the last 20 months and analyzes them in a way that they've not been analyzed before. So this relates to my workshop, which will be on peace linguistics, but that's been the main thing that I've been working on over the summer was that book. We wanted to get it out in time for the US elections. So it came out last week, and that's been pretty much my whole summer project is working on that book.
Wow, congratulations. I think that's something that maybe our audience would read and also would want to ask you questions about, perhaps at the joint plenary session or your workshop. Wow, okay. Is that available online as well, or is that something?
Yeah, it's on. It's I know it's available on Amazon Japan, because some of my former students in Japan have already ordered hard copies. The e-copies are available from Amazon, and the hard copies are also available just within the last week or so.
Awesome. Okay. And Andy, you're currently based in Macau, yes?
Yes, I'm also here in Macau, a distinguished, I think the title is Distinguished Guest Professor in the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, where I'm helping them develop a new doctoral program in applied linguistics.
Oh, how is that going?
This is the second year. The first year was a bit bumpy, as with all new doctoral programs, but I think it's going well. Almost all of the students, graduate students here in Macau, are from mainland China. Mm-hmm. So I have a couple of PhD supervisees, and I'm working with the professors and the students to help develop the new PhD in applied linguistics. So it's the start of the second year. So we've ironed out some of the kinks from the first year.
Wow, so many things going on, and a book coming up. We have lots to talk about at the JALT conference itself. That's amazing. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to turn over to Liying. So Liying, could you, same question as Andy, is there something that you'd like to share with us that's happening in your professional life or any projects?
This is my first year to be the Dean of the School of Education at City University of Macau. Mm-hmm. And this is a big change after spending the last 22 years in Canada and working at Queen's University. So it's a big change, and I'm very, very happy to be back in Asia and working with young scholars from this part of the world.
Oh, that's awesome. Any books like Andy that you're publishing?
I'm actually having a new research project. This is a Social Sciences Humanities Research Council of Canada's research project. Right now, we're doing a comparative study with elementary students. And so the title of the research is called Learning to Love Learning. So take controls, take responsibility, and takes pride. Right now, this week, we are collecting data in Macau and China. And then we're going to do some other collections in Canada.
Mhm.
So very exciting.
Wow, okay. So I understand that both of you are like really busy with your professional lives at the moment. So really thank you for taking time to be on this interview. Yeah. I'm going to switch over to focus on the JALT conference that's upcoming in November. So either one of you could answer this question first. So the conference theme is opportunity, diversity, and excellence. And this is JALT's 50th conference. So half a century, which is a very long time. What are both your thoughts about this year's conference theme?
Andy, you want to go first?
Sure. I'm just looking down because I have a note. It's moving JALT into the future, opportunity, diversity, and excellence. And as you said, Emily, it's a major milestone for any association to have lasted half a century. To a large extent, one of the downsides, I think, of social media is that many professionals believe that they don't necessarily need associations in the way they used to because they have a LinkedIn account or a social media account, but it's not the same. So I think that's a very major milestone to be able to celebrate half a century long. I'm guessing, Emily, long before you were born, the association was started. So I do like, I mean, those are three, as I look down at opportunity, diversity, and excellence. As you know from the article we wrote for the language teacher, we'll be focusing on diversity. So I think it's I particularly like the conference theme. I think it's a very pertinent and relevant to our time. Now, diversity means different things to different people in the same way as opportunity and excellence. But I think that the notion of diversity, not just in terms of race and language and culture, but also diversity in terms of teaching and learning styles and how we engage with our learners and how they interact with the world around them. So for my part, I was very happy to see that diversity was one of the three main pillars of the conference.
Yeah, I think this is something also that you both mentioned in your article, the one for the language teacher, about how diversity is not something that you are just researching, but is something that you are living through every single day. So it's like a part of your lives, right? It's not just something that is in your professional field. It's something that you encounter. I remember talking about your families like gathering, that's also a part of diversity. So it's interesting how this is brought into an academic world, and also it's still the core of what your lives are. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. And what do you think about that, Liying? I'm sure that you have your own idea of what you think about the conference theme. Yeah.
I think it's an excellent theme, which is reflect the current trends that happening around the world. I think Andy has been presented very elegantly about the actual core of diversity. I think what I really want to mention is, by definition, we are, who are language teachers who are teaching another language, is serving as the bridge connecting a different language and different culture. It's not like we can just doing a translation, we can do machine translation, that should be fine, that replace language learning. I think language learning is open the way that we look at a different culture, and we look at a different way of understanding people. And I think at this time, it's really important. This is irrespective of where we are standing right now geographically. So the diversity is in many different ways. So I think this is great that JALT has used this as a theme for teachers to think more deeper about the roles they play and how they interact with their students.
Okay, that's very interesting, because now this is perfect. This is leading to my next question. When you think about teachers and how they need to think deeper, we have researchers and practitioners, we have even students who are attending the conference. So we have quite a diverse number of attendees who are going to be there. So with both your sessions, your joint plenary session, what is the underlying message that you have for the conference attendees to take away? Maybe we could start with Andy. I suppose that's our order that we are going with now.
Thank you, Emily. Our hope, and Liying and I did talk about this when we were writing the article and preparing for today's interview, the idea of the journey is a well-worn metaphor, almost to the point of a cliche, but the notion of a journey is, we believe, especially relevant to people in our field, in international education, in language teaching and learning, because most of us have traveled literally and metaphorically, professionally and personally. So one of the ways in which we'll be shaping our presentations, and one of the things that we hope that every participant, every attendee will think about and reflect on, is their own journey, whether they are student teachers, veteran teachers. Everybody is at some point of a journey, personal and professional, linguistic and cultural. So as we were writing the article and thinking about our discussion today, we hope that one of the things that the participants and attendees will take with them is, where are they in their current journey? Where have they been and come from? Where are they now, and how did they get here to this point? And where might they be going in the future? So that's our hope, is that everybody, regardless of experience, will think about their own journey that they're on, personal and professional, linguistic and cultural.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Liying. Yeah.
No, I just wanted to add to say is that when we think about the journey, and when they think about where they are in terms of this journey, and one of the things that has been talked about in my field in language assessment is we always use this theme about East meet West or West meet East, but that has a good way of thinking about the journey. It's a little bit simplistic, but it does give us to think about language teaching and language learning is kind of like intercultural, interrelated in many ways, and it's help us to understand that at a different journey, we may have a different professional development. We also have a different focus in terms of our teaching or research as well.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the key points, because I understand that both of you, as much as the both of you have experienced diversity and you have different journeys that you have been on, but you also have different fields that you're focusing on. So it's interesting to see how this comes together with the conference team of like opportunity, excellence, and diversity. I am really looking forward to that personally. I'm really excited about this joint opening plenary. Yeah, I would also want to highlight a little bit about what the both of you are doing individually, because as our distinguished plenary speakers, you both have a workshop that you can conduct. So maybe I will start with Liying first. Could you also let the audience or conference attendees know what is something they can expect from the workshop that you will be doing?
I've been in education my whole professional life. So what I have been working on is always the interaction that I call them a love triangle. So it's assessment, teaching, and learning. And this is kind of like, how to say, it's a dilemma in our teaching that every teacher and student struggles with, or maybe struggles with, but works through with. I think this workshop, I wanted to help teachers and work with teachers, interact with teachers for us to really looking at this alliance of this three component, which is the fundamental component in our teaching. I think the questions that we always ask is, what do we teach? What do we want our students to do? And what our students are doing in the classroom. But one of the key questions connect with this too is, how do we know what assessment activities we can know to help us to know where our students are? And more important, what do we do in terms of assessment so our students know where they are in terms of their learning? So that will be the central theme or the central goals, learning goals I wish that I was working with our teachers to achieve through this workshop.
Awesome. Yes. And also forgot to mention, sorry, Liying's workshop title is Assessing for Student Success. Okay. So it is so our workshop sessions for plenary speakers are usually a little more intimate because you're not standing in a hall and staring at hundreds and of people just looking at you. So this is like a more interactive session, and we're hoping to connect with you more in your workshop. And also Andy has a separate workshop on peace linguistics, so the new peace linguistics. So Andy, what should the audience look forward to at your workshop?
Thanks, Emily. I think that first I should say I haven't been an academic my whole life. I'm happy and proud of that fact. I started in clinical medical biochemistry in England. So my approach to language, because of a healthcare background, has always been, long before it became popular and fashionable, that language is a living, breathing entity, and that the classical characteristics of what makes a living thing living are completely applicable to language. So this idea of peace linguistics has been around for a while, but it didn't really develop until recently, when I looked at the language of some of the world's most powerful people. The US elections, presidential elections, are 7 weeks, I think it's 7 or 8 weeks away. And so, for better and for worse, the world's media is obsessed with what world leaders, not just in the US, but in conflict zones, such as the war in the Middle East, such as the war in Ukraine. And what I'll be doing in my workshop, which, as you said, will be a more intimate setting, is to explore with the group how some of the world's most powerful and influential people, how they use language, and whether their use of language makes war or peace more or less likely. It's a strange thing to talk to language teachers about the power of language. You think we would all know that as language educators, but we have so many other things, the test and the textbook and the exam and the curriculum, the syllabus and the marking and the preparation. Sometimes we forget that a world leader can say a single line and it can plunge an entire nation into devastating loss of life. So for my workshop, we'll be exploring this idea of how the world's most powerful people use one of the world's most powerful tools, which is, for us, language.
Right. And I feel like from this workshop, there will be people who will benefit a lot, because this is also a very important and current topic, just as Liying's topic is also really important today, even though it is a very diverse diverse group of joint plenary, but there are two separate things that the both of you are addressing. So that will be very interesting if people attended both your workshops. They're like, whoa, what happened here? Okay, so having said that, because both of you have different messages, but also same messages with your joint opening plenary. So I was very curious about how you feel the audience, how do you envision people who will be attending your session? How can they take your messages and also take it into their lives, you know, the broader community? How can they take it home? How can they take away your messages, basically? Yeah. I think I'll let Liying go first, because Andy's been going first.
Thank you, Emily. I think going to a conference, different teachers learn different things. I think when they come to our conference, they will connect at a different point or different level. And they always are very big onto reflective practice. And I think one of the things is reflective practice is what we reflect, how we interact with the content, with the materials, with the people that we interact with. So I would really say any teachers could take any piece of message or a number of piece of messages at different time and at different level. And hopefully they will benefit in some ways to their teaching and learning and in supporting their student.
Okay, thank you very much, Liying. Okay, Andy, would you like to add on to how you envision the audience taking away your message?
Yes, thank you, Emily. I'd be happy to add to what Liying said. One of the big challenges as a presenter of any kind, but especially to have the honor of being invited speakers, is we really don't know our audience. By the end of the conference, we've gotten to talk to a lot of people and we know the audience. And I sometimes say I'm best prepared to give my presentation really after the conference, because that's when I really met the attendees and really understood what are some of their concerns or interests and wants and needs. So not to assume, from my point of view, not to assume anything about the attendees, but the hope that there's always a continuum from novice teachers who are new to the field and very experienced teachers, and this continuum of experience and expertise all the way from one end to the other end of the continuum. So what people may or may not take away is depends often on their experience and their expertise. But my hope would be that some of the key things that they would take away is the tremendous power of language, and that if we as teachers and learners don't use it carefully and compassionately, we can do a great deal of damage. So being very careful with this very powerful tool, because we all have language and it's with us from the day we're born until the day we pass away, we tend to take it for granted. Coming from a life science background, I think of language like oxygen. It's invisible, but every person on the planet needs it. And if you take it away, we will die, which is a quite dramatic way of thinking of language as oxygen. But I hope they will take away ideas about the power of language, the tremendous responsibilities that we have as language teachers and learners. And when I go to a conference, one of the things that I really enjoy at the end of the conference is being reminded of the importance of doing what we do wholeheartedly. My brother in England is an accountant, and I love him very much, and all of his friends are accountants, but they can do their job with the minimal of emotional investment. They are human calculators and they're very good at it. But when I meet teachers at conferences who are clearly wholehearted in what they do. It's really inspiring. So I hope the attendees being truly inspired by some of the attendees that will meet there.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you very much, Andy, and also Liying, for sharing about your background to begin with, and also some ideas that you had about what people can take away from the conference. And also we all look forward to your joint plenary session and also your workshops at the conference itself. If you don't have any other final messages, yeah. I could end here.
I just wanted to add to say we're so looking forward to meet with you and the conference participants at JALT. Looking forward to it.
Same as us on behalf of JALT. Sorry, Andy, carry on. Yeah.
No, just to thank you, Emily, for the interview, and to add that our relationship with JALT goes back, in my case, 25 years to the late 90s. There's an article I wrote for TLT in 1999, which is still available online, called The Hand, the Head, and the Heart. And so, as Liying said, we're really looking forward to spending time with the participants, with the attendees. And whilst it's a 50-year anniversary for JALT, which is a major milestone, it's also a 25-year landmark for us in our relationship with JALT. So we're very honored and humbled and happy to be part of that event.
Oh, thank you. Seriously, on behalf of the JALT committee and also the JALT membership, we are really looking forward to your opening plenary for the conference itself. And also at this 50th conference, it is going to be, in Shizuoka. So it's a place that everybody is looking forward to going to, and also enjoying the venue again, because this is not the first time that we are in a Grand Ship Shizuoka. So thank you so much for your time. It's a great honor to be in the same screen as the both of you. I am very nervous if you can't tell.
You're really great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So with that, everybody who is watching this video, you can catch both Andy Curtis and Liying Cheng at the JALT conference in Shizuoka, November 15th to 18th. So we will see you there. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye.